between nature ecology and agriculture has been a concern of people, so whether the survival of wild animals impacts the growth and output of crops, whether they have lived in harmony, rural expert Ian Edward Brown shared his views.
Most of the crops that we were producing were not massively impacted by that, but the trees are a good example. My current business is the biopolymer business, where we're manufacturing tree guards, and every tree we planted had a plastic cylinder around it to keep the hares and the rabbits and the deer away. So that's a good example of where we had to take practical protection of trees in order to stop the wildlife destroying them. But generally speaking, we would scare birds away if they were eating the crops with loud bangs and brightly coloured flags, but mostly we were able to do what we did without having too much of a burden in terms of animals, birds eating our crops. In Britain there's a number of alien species. If we take deer as a good example, there's a number of deer that have come from other countries, and their numbers are increasing. They haven't got any natural predators, so because in the British countryside many of the apex predators are no longer here, so it's interesting that certain species are now being reintroduced. You've got beaver, but more importantly species like lynx and wolves in Europe are being introduced in order to provide a natural predation of species that can become a pest species. So deer is a good example where the numbers are growing hugely and destroying forests.
In addition to wild hares, foxes, and deer, there are also some harmful species, such as the Asian hornets, which are also closely related to the healthy development of agriculture. Let's see what Dr. Mark said.
Asian hornets are a particular threat in the UK because they attack honeybees, but honeybees in particular are very important pollinators of our crops, and they are the main prey of Asian hornets. But in general, in agricultural settings, invasive pests are probably the most damaging of all of the pests, and that's mostly due to the damage they cause either directly to the crop or to the products that we're then going into the human food chain. We have a non-native species secretariat, which is a wing of the UK government, and it's their particular remit to look out for potential threats that are coming into the UK.